So oh yeah, Chef, we get stalked by Zoom now. I hope you know that.
What
like
the
it's
fuck? Yeah, that was weird.
No, it's all of a sudden our views start. We have a couple popular, somewhat episodes, and then the lady comes in to lets us know that this meeting's being recorded.
Oh, that's the HR lady?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The girl boss of Zoom. Yeah, I keep trying to switch it to a guy's voice. They won't let me.
Yeah,
but
Zoom guy boss.
Yeah, it can't happen. It wasn't in the algorithm. But so we're just talking John McAfee off the record. John McAfee passed away. Natural causes, I think.
Yep.
And he was such a wild dude because, like, you know what's funny is I didn't pay attention to him for the longest time. Yeah, I just thought it was like his name was just John McAfee, and then he just had a bunch of money, and I'm like, oh, he fucking did the antivirus software. So yeah. Then I went back. Yeah, I'm just like, John McAfee. I mean, you could be a rich guy named that. It doesn't have to mean anything. Or
that 90s money hit hard, dude.
It's so hard, dude.
CD put in the fucking tray. Yeah, dude.
I know. He was coasting off that shit too for a while, like, because nobody knew how. Like at that time, nobody knew how weird he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, slipped in the back door. Yeah.
All the billionaires. I mean, the Epstein shit was thriving probably in the fucking 90s and in the
2000s.
Yeah.
That was their heyday, probably.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The minute they saw somebody take out a phone that could like film something, they were like, fuck. But then you realize the guy who made that technology was probably on the plane molesting kids. So you're like, oh man, what the fuck, dude? Like, why'd you do that? It's like,
I feel like think about like Bezos saw like the King 90s New York City billionaires, and he's like, I want that. And then like he chased the bag, and like now it's not cool anymore.
I know.
Right. Now you can get canceled.
Yeah.
No, you cannot be a cool billionaire anymore. That's really thoughts and prayers to them for that. But But yeah, so John McAfee, we're talking. John McAfee liked to get his mouth shit in. I mean, that's no big deal, right? I mean, who amongst us?
Yeah,
who amongst us hasn't paid a couple maids to do that?
A couple G's, yeah,
exactly. Which is funny because there's a whole clean fetish in there too, right? Like a clean, dirty, like maid.
I didn't even think about that. What the fuck?
Me neither.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
The dirty maid, literally.
Yeah. He's like, it's the maid making the mess, man. It's just it's ridiculous.
From the 5 to the 6, we be in the mix with that RareCandy paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, baby, I can't do that shit. Now I'll never vote, cause I'm fucking broke. And either way, I know the police ain't gon' leave me alone. On a plane by the visit Glen Rock, need crypto told me I should bring the Glock with me. So I packed up my piece and I'm sliding. Cause we might get caught up in a riot. Middle finger Trump, middle finger Biden. Fuck a left, fuck a right, is you riding? Know you love to see it, dudes rocking. Ain't no politics, baby, we just talking. From the birds to the bricks, we be in the mix with that RareCandy paint job on the whip. Who you with?
So we got Chef with us today. Chef is back. It's the second time, but it's your first time with the three of us. I heard, two of us.
I'm so stoked. In fact, I just wanted to bring this up when I remember when the first one came out, when I wasn't able to make it, and it was you two. Yeah. And then I just made this joke. I was just like, I'm just gonna like, I was like, man, this episode feels different. I don't know, something's different about it. And I was making the joke that I wasn't there, like it's lame without me, And then you were kind of like, oh, it's because I'm black.
I thought you would get a kick out of that. I thought you would like that.
That was awesome. Yeah.
People don't realize he's actually really racist, though. That's the real joke, is that he's actually extremely racist.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Life image art.
No, that was not.
Dude, this is good. This is not good for my public image, guys. No, I'm trying to do music.
I actually have a question. So before I get to my question for you, because I have a question of a problem you may run into later in your music career. So that's coming up later. Oh, yeah. But anyways. You made our song.
That's right.
Literally the number one comment I get on the show, which I don't know if that's bad for the show, like personally, because I feel like it's like, hey, did you guys listen to anything else? But hey, nonetheless, great song. They say, who made it? And I send them your way every single time. I send them your way. Unfortunately, people don't remember your shit posting days. Like, people don't, like, it's a new crop on Twitter that doesn't remember you. I'm like, oh no, this guy doesn't just rap. Like this guy.
It's not their fault though. It's the Fed's fault, bro. It's not their fault.
Ever since you allegedly talked about putting something from a certain cookbook in somebody's mailbox, or an elected official's mailbox. I don't know. It's alleged. I don't know.
It was all alleged. Exactly.
Come on.
Things get made up these days. anyways.
Exactly. So I gotta ask you, be honest, how long did it take you to make that song?
I'm not gonna lie. I looked up the beat because I was like, yo, y'all from the West Coast, so I gotta do some West Coast shit. So I looked up like, you know, modern day West Coast shit. Found a beat, felt a vibe, and literally I wrote that shit in like an hour maybe. And then recorded it in like 30 minutes and mixed it in like 15 minutes.
What do you use? What's your workflow like on the computer, you know, software and
FL Studio.
Nice.
FL Studio 20. So like I don't even use I used to have the cracked version. Like most people have the fucking cracked version. But like I had to buy the shit. So but it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah. No, that's funny how that software really has like stayed constant in all of music production for the longest time. The longest time it was like, oh, Ninth Wonder uses Fruity Loops. Oh my God, Ninth Wonder. Like, dude, you realize that this guy uses the same software as Soulja Boy. Oh my God.
Exactly.
That was such
a big deal.
Such a game changer back then. And
back when people cared about like debating hip hop, and now no one's everyone's like, okay, it's over. You know?
Whatever. Exactly.
So my next question is so going back to your shit posting days, do you ever fear that you make just that one? Because people get popular fast nowadays. So you make that one song where people just start doing TikTok dances to it. Like it's just electric, taking over. You're on Ellen. You know, things are crazy right now. And then all of a sudden somebody goes, I found this old tweet. You know what I mean? Or I found this old thing. Do you have like, what does that scenario? Because I have that situation where if this show blows up sometimes, I maybe think like somebody could clip something from the back then and just kill me with it. But like, do you ever get that anxious feeling about that ever?
I really do, honestly. But like, there's two things that calm me down, right? Because one, my biggest accounts both got deleted, and all the like tweets you can't find them. So that's pretty good, man.
Folks, I have them. No, I'm kidding. I don't.
All right, that's good. We need someone to cherish them. We need
they're NFTs. I'll sell them. Yeah, the screenshots.
But the second thing is like, I feel like people who get canceled, I feel like they really be fucking up, because like if you cater to the woke crowd, like if you're catering to the woke crowd, they're gonna turn on you at some point. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can never upkeep with them. Like their ideas are always changing. Things are always new. They're always gonna dig up some shit from you in the past, even though like they forget the human element of shit. Like people are not perfect, and these ideologies they follow, number one, are bullshit anyways. But like,
you know, get more fans if shit came about you. You know what I mean? Yeah, you be the opposite effect. Yeah, that's
and
funny.
Like if you take like Kodak Black, like he tried, like he actually did bad shit. Like, you know what I mean?
That's fair.
He's out here and he's lit. You know what I'm saying? And rap is a little different, you know?
Yeah, totally.
No, that's fair.
Well, we were talking about on that. We were guests on the pod. I forget the name of it. You'll know, but when we were talking to how, you know, back in the like a decade old Twitter takes, you know, everyone was kind of no one was talking shit about black people, but everyone had like an anti-Asian tweet, you know, for some reason. Those all sweep through the cracks, and so for some reason, so everyone's pulling those up, you know. Those are the ones that get you, dude.
Man, stop Asian hate, dude.
Yeah, exactly. I stopped myself from doing an accent on a show the other night, so I mean, pat on the back for me. And
I honestly think Asians should be able to hate whoever they want. So hey.
I mean, they do freely, actually. I mean, there's like not a lot of like smiling going on. Like, it's just like,
the best one was the inter-Asian hate is the funniest.
Oh, the inter-Asian hate. My like first high school relationship was with a Japanese girl, and I asked them like, hey, like I knew like her parents were pretty like they hadn't been in the country for that long, much longer than she was born. So I knew like there's some tradition there, and I said, like, is it cool that I'm you know, like that I'm white or you know, it's just different than you like that? And she's like, oh, she goes, that's preferred. And then she's like, she goes, if you were another kind of like Asian, like Vietnamese or something, like my dad would just be like, he would walk out of the house like,
sure,
anymore.
Man, probably the most racist moment I ever had was with kind of like a friend who's not really a friend anymore. This might have been part of it, but we were eating sushi.
I think so. Probably.
And he was like, he's Japanese, and we were eating sushi at this restaurant, and like they were run by Koreans, and he was like seething, bro. He was just talking so much shit, and I'm just like, it's pretty good. I mean, like,
that's about like that's like centuries on centuries, dude. Like, think about how you've had beef with somebody for like 5 years. That feels like an eternity.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With these dudes, like you got like family members
Generational.
tracing your lineage, like carved shit onto tablets that you're
Yeah.
like,
No,
damn,
real
it was
shit.
bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Real
so,
shit. And
yeah.
those interethnicity feuds are the funniest shit to me.
Best
Like I'm
feuds.
part Puerto Rican, and like
Word.
there's a thing where like Puerto Ricans and Mexicans don't really like each other, and Puerto
Mhm.
Ricans and Dominicans are always competing and shit. By the end of the day, everybody's fucking Spanish. Like we all fucking love each other and shit. But like
Yeah.
it's just funny, like seeing the antagonism. Sometimes it's a little playful though. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like there's like a playfulness to it because like I don't know, like I have a friend who's a Mexican and Colombian. We used to always talk shit about each other. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Puerto Rican guys are always blah, blah, blah. Oh, fucking Colombian guys are always blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, like he always had my back. Like we were always brothers. Like, you know, till this day, if I hit him up, we're cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I do think that it could be in a playful way a lot of times too, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, that's funny. Like white people used to do that back in like the 20s. Like they used to be like, oh, it's fucking Irish fuck, you know.
Yeah.
Like we don't do that anymore. I think we need to go back to that. Like we literally have ancestry.com now. We can find out exactly how much somebody is of anything.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever
That's
done
why
that?
I started ancestry.com. Hell
Yeah.
no.
I did it.
You did
Why'd
it?
you do that shit, man?
It's a gift.
Big
What do you
Tech got
do?
your Big Tech got your DNA and shit.
Yeah, that's
So peep
I
this.
mean, yeah, but I was a gift. It's like, what do I do? Like people are
It was a
like, so
gift.
what are the
Oh,
results,
okay,
man? I'm
okay.
like, you know,
Yeah.
hand write a chart of my own.
I have
Like,
a family
Yeah, I
member
get
that
that, I
worked
get
that
that.
worked there for a year or two, I think. Yeah. And we got the free, like, you know, it's like, yeah, you can get it done, you know. And our family is just super fucked up. Like we knew we were fucked up like a couple generations ago, and it just keeps going, dude. It's yeah, yeah. There's some weird shit going on. Yeah.
I know. They just put 3 question marks on a few things. Like what?
Right.
Yeah.
They highlight it.
Yeah.
But you got it
exactly.
done. That's yeah.
I did. And all the thoughts in my head, I'm like, okay, well, you know, I knew exactly me spitting into a tube and mailing it to someone I don't know could for sure be something used against me. And
You know, but it's all right. You know, they're listening to us right now, so it's not a big deal. Like,
exactly. Maybe that's. I mean, I'm checking out when I got the results back and when that thing started. That's lining up pretty good. But the funniest thing is I have a grandma who's she's like when I was she's like, we're Polish is what she told me. She's like, our side of the family Polish, absolutely Polish. We're from Poland, from all the doing that. Like she was in the Polish club at like all these things. Like yeah, just all in on Poland. So then like I talked to her brother, so it's like my great uncle. I stay with her brother for one night, like, and we're talking. I'm like, yeah, and we're Polish. She goes, "Fuck, you just say?"
He's like,
I'm like, I was like, no, we're Polish. She goes, we're absolutely not. And I know my sister's feeding you those lies. I was like, whoa, so this is another reason why I wanted to do this. Yeah, this is another reason. I was like, you know what, this is worth it. And then
yeah, that goes deep.
So he tells me like. He's like, yeah, no, we're actually Ukrainian. What happened was because he's a little bit older, so like he's around, and he says like what happened was my dad befriended a Polish family and literally learned how to speak the language from them because they didn't speak any English. They like learned together, and then he started just partying with them, so he knew all the customs. He was like, damn, these people like to get fucked up and all that stuff. They're cool. And because they're kind of like Polish people are like real blue collar, like real like salt of the earth.
Hell yeah.
You party. It's like they're like the kind of like Mexicans of Eastern Europe, you know what I mean? Like, and
nice.
so yeah, exactly. Like they just like everything's a turn up, like first communion, you know what I'm saying? Like all that kind of
dude.
You got the Kirkland signature handles, the tequila, and vodka. And So then I get the results back because in my head, I'm like, I kind of believe him. I'm like, you know what? This is something my grandma would have fucked up. Like she would have for sure thought that. And I get it back and it just says they didn't separate Poland from Ukraine. It was all Eastern Europe. So I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, so I'm like mad. I'm like,
right.
I'm outside ancestry.com with a gun.
That's like when Homer's trying to figure out what the J stands for in his middle name, and it's just Jade.
J-A-Y.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Classic shit.
So you're Latinx, correct? Afro Latinx.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring that.
Latin X, Latin 10, Roman numeral 10.
That is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy that because I always wondered when that slogan. I've been seeing that slogan in like the incubation of Twitter for a long time. Like anybody who's like seen that, it's been around for about 10 years on Twitter. Like no joke, it's been there. But now I was always wondering, I'm like, when it gets to like where people say it on the news, I'm wondering like how they're gonna say it, right? Are they gonna say Latinx? You know what I'm saying? Like, are they gonna say it? But I've heard some people say some certain things, and I have our president, certainly not mine, but I guess he's our president.
Someone's president.
Somebody come get your president. And and he's on there. And he was saying about vaccinations for Latinx, and I'll let you guys figure out how he says it. Let's see if I can get some audio here.
That title.
Yeah. I love finding from RNC research. But yeah, let's see. Here we go.
It's awful hard as well to get Latinx vaccinated as well. Why? They're worried that they'll be vaccinated and deported.
That's probably. Do you think he's true? Do you think he's right about that?
He's telling them, if you come get vaccinated, we will deport you.
Yeah,
that's it's like it's a dog whistle. You know what I'm saying?
They're worried about what we will do. Yeah,
that's funny.
He's just speaking his truth, man.
Did you get the shot? Did you get the shot, Chef?
Say that again.
Did you get the shot? Did you get the?
No, I have not.
Shot,
actually, bro, I dead want to talk about like vaccination.
Let's go.
Honestly,
dude.
Absolutely not. We hate it.
It's not allowed. It's not allowed.
No. What's up? What do you go ahead? Table's on you. What do we want to talk about?
So I haven't got the shot yet. My girl got the shot and she's fine. You know what I'm saying? My her mom got the shot and her dad got the shot, and they are both like they had like some symptoms before. Like I pre-assumed like you would have symptoms even if it was a real vaccine, that you might be able to get sick from it because the shit's in it. You know what I'm saying? But like I know like this is like new technology, like mRNA shit and all that. But like my girl, she got her first shot and she's fine and shit. And like I had to get a COVID test today to see if I have COVID. But I mean I don't know, bro. Like the only reason I would get the shot is because like a lot of my friends are having babies, and like they like it's like a thing where like they wouldn't want me around their kids, and I get that. You know what I'm saying? So like to me, like the human connection of being with their babies is more important. Yeah. But like if it like honestly, I was talking to somebody today and I was like, honestly, if I hadn't had to get a COVID test today, I probably wouldn't even be worried about the vaccination, bro, because like my theory on the vaccination is like I think the shot itself is like a distraction, low key, because I think what they're really pressing is the digital health IDs, that because they're using that to control the flows of like people and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
what's up with your girlfriend's parents though? What happened with them? They got had some adverse effects.
Yeah. They had.
Which ones did they?
They got Pfizer. Everybody got Pfizer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so they had like a little, like, you know, they're feeling down a little bit for like a day or whatever, but they were fine after. And I mean, like, I don't like, I'm not trying to say I trust the fucking shit that's in the shot, because I feel like they don't care about what the fuck they put in our bodies, obviously, right? Like they feed us fucking trash every day. So they'll put out a fucking vaccination that's not shit, like just to, you know, make profit off of it and to like use it to divert our attention. That's my theory. I think they really want us to like either like, you know, how there's two sides to the vaccination. The libs are like, oh, you need to get this or you're fucking killing people. And then like, you know, in mainstream media, there's only two sides. The other side is like, okay, don't get this, blah, 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 you know. Well, they don't even let that side of mainstream media. But like, I really do think like I'm not really worried about what's in that shit, because I was in the Air Force, right? And they shot me up with mad shit, bro. Like I had to get like 10 shots, bro. Like I had to get this thing called a peanut butter shot. They stick a needle right in your fucking ass, and like the fucking stuff they squeeze out is as thick as peanut butter, and so you have to rub it around and shit, and like it hurts for days. So like I'm not really worried about it.
Can you dab it and put it like on a dab rig and smoke it? Honestly, that sounds kind of cool. Yeah,
it's a mild psychedelic, dude. It's
that's fucked up. Sorry, go on.
I might have to go back, but yeah. So like for me myself, like that's why I would get it only for like other people to feel like they're okay. You know what I'm saying? And like I hate that I would have to do that. I hate that, it's like a psyop. Fucking it's a fucking psyop, bro. I hate that I would have to do that, but that's just what it is, man.
Cost benefit analysis. I mean, that's all it is. It's I mean, I was that way for a long time too. Now I will say I held strong. You know what I'm saying, with my family. Now it's a bit different. I think your friends could actually shun you from their kid. Like it's a bit
they similar, could exactly.
But like my mom was saying, like for the longest time, she's like, you're gonna need to get it, and I need you to reconsider. Like you're gonna do this. And I was like, to quote Nick Saban, I'm not getting it, so quit asking. Or, you know, I'm not going to, so quit asking. He says that. And that's exactly what I told him. I'm like, it's not going to happen. And at the end of the day, like my wife said she wouldn't get it either. So I'm like, so it's just going to be me that gets to hang out with everybody like, oh, I can't travel.
Right,
We're together.
right,
So
right.
like, where are we gonna go if she can't go? You know what I'm saying? Like that's
right.
so it is nice to have that support base there.
Yeah.
And you know, and I have, you know, my co-host over here, like it's and we're covering it the whole time.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, like, first off, I know more than you. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's always how it is.
I know more than you. I know more,
Always.
and I'm making a personal decision, and it's with your kids' friends. And I know they're when you have a kid, I guarantee you all logic goes out the window. You're like, I need to protect this life. You know, I don't care what the fucking numbers say. I'm protecting this life. If I think you're sick at all, you're not coming near my kid. I understand. Like I understand where people are coming from. But hey, man, if I were you, I'd hold out, man. I'd hold out on them. I mean, and like I bet you they'll let you.
Yeah. See, like again, like I was holding out, like I am still holding out. Like the only reason like I'm even considering it is because I might have gotten COVID. And now if I got COVID, everybody knows that COVID will be scared, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But like I've been getting pressure from a lot of people I know, like, yo, we're not going to be able to travel, bro. We're not going to be able to, because with music and shit, like we have a lot of like shows like lined up, like cross country type shit. Like, so like we, you know, like, but I don't think they're going to restrict travel within the States anyway. So that's not even a good fucking reason to like, you think they will?
Well, I was just seeing something today, and it was let me pull it up. Alex G sent this to me, and actually, I don't think it has anything to do with COVID. It's weird. It's like an LGBT thing. Like it's like so. Okay, well, you're not in California. You're not in sicko land like I am, so this isn't going to affect you. But so California banned state travel to Florida and 4 other states, and now they make it seem like it's COVID, but they're saying it's laws. It's their state. It's only state funded travel. So we don't have that much. This is actually really funny. It's state funded travel because Florida has the laws against some LGBTQ community, and I'm pretty sure it's mostly the T part. And so like the California banned state funded travel to that. But
okay, that's not really even do anything.
They're just gonna tell you to put a fucking mask on the plane, man. I mean, it sucks. Like they're just gonna tell you that shit, man. Like I for now I think what you said about the technology, I think that's absolutely correct. I think that technology is being made. I don't think it's ready yet, and I thought it was. I for one thought that it was. I saw the wristband with the QR code on it, and I got fucking scared the other day, dude. There was a wristband. I think it's in Russia. So everybody that talks all this shit about Putin's trying to put a goddamn QR code on people. Like, I'm not trying to hear shit about Putin fucking doing nothing to us and undermining libs. That's the most lib shit I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
It's like I need a QR
Putin's
code.
A fucking beta cog.
Yeah.
Straight up. I mean, you know, exactly. So I think I say it like this is like, and I'll never stop anybody from making a personal decision to get it. Like I said, for the longest time, I was on the fence about it, but like literally everybody in my family decided like they got their shot. And I said, why don't you trust the one you have? Is what I tell them. If you got the shot and you're scared of getting it, why don't you trust the one that you have? And, you know, people will always say, oh, it creates this fucking force field like Captain Planet, all of us holding hands together and shit. Like, okay, no, I'm sorry. It's not this wonder drug that people are saying that it is. And look, in California, LA is already saying that vaccinated people still have to wear masks because of the damn Delta variant. There's always going to be another one.
Delta variant. That's some bullshit, bro. I've been telling people like, yo, like niggas is not going to believe that, bro. Like all the people like I be around, bro, like they're going to be like, oh, we didn't get vaccinated, so now a new coronavirus came out. Come on, bro. Like nobody's going to fucking buy that shit. I mean, some people will, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know, bro. Like,
it's
we
like
already know it like originated in the lab and shit. Like,
Did you see that? I think Gay Stepdad retweeted that video of that like musclehead dude back in like fucking April 2020 or something, and he's at some like anti-lockdown protest or something. He nails everything, dude. He's like, first they're gonna exactly what happened basically. He's like, and this is like way over a year. He's like, first they're gonna say get the vaccine, which you're fucking dumb as fuck if you do, you know. And then he's like, like, second, they're just gonna create a new variant and say that it didn't work as well, and you're gonna need to keep getting it, and we still need to. He nailed like everything like before I was even thinking about this shit, and I'm like, damn, dude. Yeah, I looked at the date. I was like, oh, this is cool. A couple months ago, it was like a year ago. It was amazing. Yeah.
Damn.
That variant, I think that it's been basically proven that it's, as they say, it's like more transmissible. You can transmit it easier, which I don't even think that's technically been proven at all. But then but like the death rate is like a fraction, which all variants of diseases are. I'm sorry, like
it's the same as every virus. It's like they've thrown away everything out the window. Like
they're taking advantage of illiterate people, man. Like scientifically illiterate people that think they know science. Yeah, I'm
Because
sorry.
they control-
Imagine if you saw somebody that couldn't read, right? That couldn't read, but swore they could read. You know what I'm saying? And they're reading out loud in class, fucking everything up. Clifford the Big Red Dog, they're fucking it up. They're like, God damn it. Like, but they're reading it really loud. They're like, no, I know how to read. You don't. You know what I mean? That's like, it's like, no, you're illiterate. You listened to propaganda science. Like, I'm sorry. Like, and you didn't fact check that, right? Like, it's terrible, man.
No, that's real shit. And I feel like also like if we use a reading example, like even these people, most of these people are like I was listening to Twink Rev. You guys know the Twink Rev guys, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Great.
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. So I was listening to them the other day, and they had some lady on who wrote this book. Not no disrespect to the lady, she's mad like fire. I just don't know her name. But she like wrote this book or article. It was like a zine about the PMC and how they like manufacture ideology for the.
Is that Catherine Liu? Were you talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, that was good interview.
Shouts out Catherine Liu. Yes, that shit was fire. And I think like this COVID shit is a very good example of it, because like think about like the people who, number one, think about the class characteristics of a lot of like the rad libs, like the lib types. You know what I'm saying? Like most of them are like professional, managerial, fucking aspiring to be, at least. You know what I mean? Like so like they get their education from the fucking establishment, but for some reason they think like, oh, they they don't think like of who taught you how to read. You know what I'm saying? Like you're reading the data this way because that's how they taught you how to read it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't see things in real time and see things for what they really are, because they are the ones who told you how to fucking do this shit. And so everything you spew now is just gonna fucking validate their shit. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's why the CDC can flip flop and lie on every issue, and they'll still be blind trust because they've never had to question the world. The worldview has always. Because imagine if you just went through school and got a fucking job and like ended, making fucking six figures working from home, you'd be like, this is fucking tight, It's like, why are you gonna question the world that gave you that?
Exactly.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
They're good at not biting the hand that feeds them. I'll give them that. Like,
they're obedient.
Right.
And well, speaking of the CDC too, not to get too off subject here, but I saw something that the CDC let me pull up the actual material, but like the CDC was there. I think it's the CDC ruled that like the evictions extended the eviction debt moratorium, and it's like the CDC can extend that. I'm not saying I'm not against that. Dude. I'm not saying, but I think it's very weird. It's weird. Because I'm in a group chat with a couple of guys are like legal, like in the legal field and stuff, and they're just like, "Yo, I thought like only Congress could do this shit." Like, and it's like the CDC is just like, "Yeah, you could stay in your house now, still." And that's what it's a trip. It's a trip. The thing about America is you don't know who to be mad at. You have like a private company. Right. Some people are mad at the private company, right? And that'll be the leftist, right? The leftist will be like, because I don't like private companies. And then you're gonna have the Republican or the conservative or the libertarian is gonna be like, oh, I'm mad at the state. You know what I'm saying? But really, it's like they're holding hands with each other, like, and
they're best friends.
Yeah, it's a trip, dude.
Yeah, facts. And it's crazy to me, like a lot of like, because like a lot of the rad liberty like is like this disguised in like leftist leftist aesthetics and shit. So like a lot of the people who are, we know what the left is. It's a fake left. It's a synthetic left. You know what I'm saying? So like it's really weird to me. Yeah. So like shout out. So it's really weird to me how like these people, because I have a very hard like libertarian anarchist type like curve to me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I come from. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't trust shit from these motherfuckers who are in charge of everything. Yeah. Like, and I understand how people who call themselves, oh, I'm a fucking anarchist, or I'm a fucking, or even a fucking revolutionary, or you know what I'm saying? Any of that shit. And just trust these people who lie to us all the fucking time, bro.
I understand the PMCs, but when did like the Chapo left become like vaccine stewards? Like what the fuck is that about, dude? I never
they are PMC, that. Bro.
That's true.
I think that's what, or that, or just like when I saw that there were legit, I mean, when I say legit, I just mean people who have the anarchist thing and maybe a lot of followers, and they were like pro let's dox the right wingers at the Capitol to the FBI. And I'm just like, yo, if you're not pro mob at that point, and I'm not saying you got to support for doing, if you're like, so shout out CRK, if you're not pro mob and you're pro establishment over mob, you can't be an anarchist. I mean, you're basically helping the thing that you hate. You're helping
exactly,
and there's gonna be legislation that comes from it. Like it's just horrible.
And I had this tweet on my oldest account that got deleted, and like a lot of people fucked with it because I was like, bro, like I don't even label myself any ideology at this point, right? But like back then I was like heavy like anarchist, bro. Like so like I was like, bro, like I became an anarchist in the projects, bro. Like I got my anarchist tattoo in Borinquen projects in Bushwick, you know what I'm saying? Like in the hood, bro. And like so like there's cops standing outside of the bottom of our fucking building every day. We have to walk past them type shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a floodlight on the end of our block and they're watching everything. Bloomberg was our fucking mayor at one point, and they're fucking stopping and frisking everybody and all this shit. So right. So of course I'm never gonna trust these motherfuckers who are in charge. And like I tweeted some shit like, yo, I became an anarchist in the projects. These motherfuckers became anarchists in college. You know what I'm saying? That's the total fucking difference. That's the total fucking difference. And that's why I'm just like, yo, fuck ideology at this point. Because honestly, at this point, like all ideology has been ran through academia. Every single one at this point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like I have a lot of fucking critiques of these anarchist bullshitters out here, but like at the same time, like there's people under the name of Marxists. Like the whole BLM shit was by trained Marxists specifically. You know what I'm saying? Like all that bullshit has been ran through the machine now. So now you just got to be, like CRK said, pro fucking mob, bro. Like that's the point of all of this shit, right? Like that's the point of it. Like pro, like populist. You know what I mean? Like.
Straight up. To bring him up twice on this pod already. Yeah, CRK definitely. But no, but gay stepdad like cleansed me of all the anarchist bullshit. Like he put it in a way. He'll rip the bullshit off on
you.
It's like the other side of the neoliberal coin. I'm like, and at first I was like, wait, I thought this was cool. I know there's some corny mofos, but like, is it still you know? And then it was just like, oh shit. But yeah. Do you ever? I don't know if you want to release your take.
What's that?
Huh?
Oh yeah,
they said that a lot, dude. Because like I've like a lot of people like do ideology wars, and it's just because they belong to one ideology and they're fighting against another ideology. You know what I'm saying? It's just like consumer politics, really, consumer aesthetics. But gay stepdad really like he's not on no bullshit. He's like, no, like look, like anarchism within capitalism is going to be horrible. Like, why would you try to do that shit? Like it makes no sense. Like
just ripping the rug out from under everything, and then and the thing is because when you rip the rug out, it kills the people who grew up in the projects you grew up in. It doesn't kill the fucking PMC. That's what happened. That's why you're down for the performative fucking, you know, let's blow everything up. You know what I'm saying?
And it's like that who's that New York City mayor chick that AOC was supporting, you know.
Oh well, I know Eric Adams was going against Catherine, I can't remember. I know you're talking about.
Hires the private police for me, but not for the kind of vibe, you know, like that type of shit. Yeah, exactly. It's like always is that. It's always that. Yeah.
And speaking of AOC, she like, oh, go ahead.
No, I lost my train of thought. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Now speaking of AOC, she's one of those people who like proves like a lot of points about like how anarchism can be used for the establishment. Like she literally used anarchist fucking lingo, mutual aid and shit to press like her bringing cops to people's fucking doors with fucking campaign
on Twitter,
slogans shit on that, dude. Like she's fucking evil. Like, and that's just how it works. That's just how all this shit works, man. Like,
but couldn't force a vote. She says she didn't have a platform to force a vote. And like again, I remember the force the vote thing is like there's always such a straw man that comes from the people that support her that are like, oh, you thought we were going to get Medicare for all just like that, and I was like, no, I want her to put some fucking heat on people. She obviously has a tremendous amount of influence. And do the job that people elected you for. Now, the thing I did remember is because we were talking about gay stepdad. One thing he said on Adam Lair's podcast and with Ben, System of Systems, the one of the best things I heard him say, and it just clicked because I've always thought this, but I was never able to put it into words. Was he's like, most workers, like working class people, are post left. They don't know what the fuck that is because they're not on Twitter, and they don't know like that there's a left part of Twitter and then people who hate the left part of Twitter. But they're pretty much like, yo, all this ideology shit to the side. I just want some money, man. Like, you know, and we had the good old boys on last week. They're all about patronage, man. They're like, vote for the fucking guys that give you money, man. Vote for the people that give you shit. Like, don't worry about the person fucking 5 states over that's gonna quote unquote suffer from your decision to vote for somebody. Like, no, who pays you? Go patronage. I guarantee you, because of the way wealth is structured in this country, if we all vote for who gives us the most shit, we're gonna get the right person in there. Like,
there you go. That's what it is right there.
But I wanted to pivot to because I I keep going back and forth on critical race theory in school, and I keep pivoting on like, is it a big, because every like progressive or like, you know, somebody in the media is going like, it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal and you should teach it. It's not that, but come
but it's
on,
not even you don't even know what it is. It's not even real.
Yeah, no one knows what it means. That's why it's provocative.
Yeah,
yeah. And anyways, like, so what I found very funny about this, and let me know what you did. I was. Did you just remember what movie that was?
No, I knew, but I'm laughing because it's so dumb. That's what they all do. They're all exactly. Yeah. They're like, yeah, it's not a big deal, but like, don't you dare not consider, you know.
Well, that there's a meme. There's like the soy jack talking to the Chad guy, and he's going the soy jack's going like, why are you worried so much about critical race theory? It's like not that big of a deal. And then he's like, all right, fine, I'm not teaching it then. He's like, no, what the fuck? And so exactly, with the tears and the red face. So what I find the funniest about critical race theory is, one, nobody truly knows what it is, but I guess it's something that's being brewed up at Harvard, and now the people who are kind of defending it are saying like, well, it's just going to stay there. Like, no, it's not. Nobody at Harvard.
It's already it's already out here.
Yeah, and nobody at Harvard is gonna fucking make something and be like, yeah, let's just keep this here. Nobody does that. Like, why? It would cost too much money. I mean, we all know about the 1619 project, like the stuff behind that. Now, I want to know what you think of my take, because I learned a lot of my. This is an interesting one. I was texting him the other day. Yeah. So now, I don't think critical race theory is for like white people to be educated. I think critical race theory is for based Black people to be suppressed. So here's what I'm saying. So like, I learned a lot of shit. Like I went to like lib California school. So I learned like a lot of the like, this is stolen land. This is the like I learned a lot of that stuff. Yeah. Whatever. That's fine. You know, I learned all the MLK stuff, but like literally like 2 8-hour shifts with like my Hotep like coworker, I learned like 50,000 more things. And he was like a Tariq Nasheed guy and stuff, whatever. Like that's why I can't never hate on Tariq Nasheed. But like it just all this shit, you know, doing all those crazy stuff. But like, I'm pretty sure that they want you to like put your blinders up whenever you talk to a guy like that and be like, nope, I already know about Black people. Thanks. You know what I mean? And walk by him, you know? Yeah. I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering if there's a little avenue to where it's like, no, because like, what if I'm just like clicking on TV and I'm like, Candace Owens, boom, there's a Black person. Let's see what she has to say. You know what I mean? Right. You're eliminating that avenue of me to find out maybe the thing that doesn't help Democrats get elected, you know? Yeah. Because Democrats are always creating new voters is what they're doing. They're always creating a new demographic, right? So they figure that they could get a couple kids early, you know, in school, and just be like, look, this is what happened. Now vote for like neo-lib Joe Biden, who's not gonna do any of this shit. But you know what I mean? Like, just that's always kind of what I remembered. So I don't know. What do you think of that?
Honestly, that makes a lot of sense, because my take on critical race theory is just like, race is an invention of domination, and domination will use race however it can to like, you know, dominate, right? So like fucking critical race theory is literally just a new iteration of like the race science bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's just a new iteration. It's a new teaching of racialization of like you know, subjects of fucking capital, right? So like I could definitely see how like, because that, even if that's not the intended purpose, that will happen, bro. Like anytime, like, because think about like a working class, or like, you know, these fools out here that I fuck with, like, because I live in South Carolina now, right? People out here that I fuck with in the trailer parks and shit, like anytime now they hear something about like Black shit, you know, anything like that, they're gonna be like, that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a totally closed off fucking, you know what I mean? Like, so even if it's not used, like even if they didn't make it to harm Black people or whatever, it's going to be used that way anyways, because that's how that shit, you know, especially the based Black people, because based Black people always get harmed. Look at CRK, third time bringing them up, like.
Yeah.
So.
And who's that guy, the fucking the young Pharaoh on YouTube, and he got pulled?
Hotep Jesus?
Yeah, no, I mean him too. Yeah, but no, this guy, he's even crazier than that dude. And same thing. They always get such a. Does it pass the Malcolm X test? Would Malcolm X be down with like the New York Times 1619 project? You know, that's what I'm saying. Like he'd be like, this is the dumbest shit. Yeah. So that's my whole thing.
I would love for the New York Times to be like, actually, we've designed with an algorithm the Malcolm X test, and then we're and we've rated the 1619 project and Nicole Hannah Jones as a yes. Malcolm X gives a one Black power fist.
Right. No, they bring out a hologram. They bring out a hologram.
The AI.
It's still Denzel. It's still Denzel from the movie. They're like, oh man. Yeah.
I'm weak.
That's funny.
But yeah, they just do that brother starving gif. Like it's just that it's what they're like, yeah, we're still working on it. But yeah, well, it's funny because you mentioned it about like what I see is like a long game for this is to privatize schools. And because of what you said, the polarity between that, because you're taking a white guy who might not even be racist, but it's just like, dude, fuck, all right, man, you know what I mean? Like yeah, I don't, can I learn how to fucking do my taxes, please, you know, and just shit like that. And but I think it's a way, because you're going to get the schools in right-wing communities be like, I'm not doing this federal curriculum. And it comes from the state too, but you know, you're in a place like Georgia where Atlanta has been flipped to like straight up Democrat, you know what I mean? And all that. But then rural Georgia is going to have to do that, you know, and certain people are going to be like, no, we want to privatize stuff. So I do think this is a way, and we talked about with Alex G, is like, I do think liberals are down to do this because you're able to privatize schools, but do it in like a woke way, not like Betsy DeVos, you know? And so what I think is like, it's a way to just, because look at what the Republicans do with their response. I equally hate their response. Is they're like, all right, well, we're banning Marxism in schools. It's like, well, I didn't fucking learn about Marxism in school, so
I never even heard about Marxism in school.
And so it's basically like we're just going to strip the curriculum, like almost a reverse arms race of like how much we could strip our curriculum of anything, to where like nobody wants to go to a public school anymore.
Right, it's like a race to see who's going to make the kids retarded the fastest, and literally that's going to make people pull their kids out and put them in and like think about this corona shit too. Like a lot of kids are doing Zoom classes, and like there's a lot of companies that's coming up that's like, yo, we offer remote only. Like when I was younger, I was homeschooled from first to like fifth grade, and like I went through this program called K-12. And like they have like a whole bunch of things you can meet up with other homeschooled kids and like actually do school outside and shit. But now they're transferring into like a tech shit, you know what I'm saying? Like over Zoom and shit like that. So I definitely think, because even think about like these woke PMC motherfuckers who like make money off the woke shit. Like what's that one, Syra Rao or whatever?
Oh, I love her. I'm not gonna lie. She does this shit perfect, man.
She's pretty good at it. She's pretty fucking good. But she's a good example. Like think about if somebody like that was like, okay, I have my own curriculum to teach. Give me bands and I will FaceTime your fucking kid for an hour a day and teach them history. You know what I mean? Like
that's awesome.
Yeah. And then I asked to FaceTime your kid for some money, and then I go to prison. So I mean, really, who has the
privilege? Right.
And
I was gonna pay the kid though.
Yeah, exactly. So I was laughing. I don't know if you saw it because you said Syra Rao. She had an incredible tweet today. It was so good. I can't hate. I have a problem when it's like maybe that like dirtbag left that's still left in me, where like there's somebody I dislike so much that I like them, you know. And this person, look at what she said. She goes, "White people," and it's in letter format. She's like, "White people, I beg you, please stop sending private messages of support and agreement, text, DM, emails. Private support is violent. Honestly, it is. Make it public or keep it to yourself."
You're not allowed to have private conversations. Dude, she's a trip.
Yeah,
she's rise and grind on this shit.
I honestly, because that's why I like Tariq Nasheed. Like I like Tariq Nasheed. Like and it's not ironic. Like I actually think if you strip down to like all the theatrics, he actually will talk about some real shit sometimes. You know what I mean? Like and that's why I like him, because like for one, if you're funny, I like you. Like even if you suck, even if you stand for the thing I hate, if you're funny, I like you.
True.
And like he was getting at Breonna Joy Gray
oh shit,
like a while I think it was actually an older thread. I think like he didn't really like Bernie that much and they were going at it, so I think it was during the primary. Bernie, yeah, he did, right? So I was laughing my ass off because like she was just tweeting at him, and then he just pulled up from her media tab all the pictures with white men like from there, and was just like did a thread underneath her. And there was one where, no joke, it was 5 shirtless white guys and her in like a swimsuit, and he was just like, look at them looking at you like they want to, like you look like a piece of dessert and shit. Like I was dude, it was so fucking.
He went Dr. Umar on her.
Yeah. Exactly. And like, and I was laughing when, do you remember when he posted that video of like the maybe autistic guy freaking out at the hotel? That was hella fucked up, bro. Okay, so correct, I agree, it was fucked up. And like but the thing is like I realized that was when like my Twitter circle found out about Tariq Nasheed. I was like, oh, you guys didn't know about him? Like this is just a fucking Thursday to Tariq. Like, yeah, I was like,
that's true. That's fucking true.
I was like, yo, you guys do not like get too invested in this because tomorrow's gonna be something else. Like,
it's gonna be. He rolled out of bed and fucking tweeted that shit. Right?
And he'll rip you apart. Like, it's not gonna be like it's not gonna be like oh, well, those certainly are words, bro. Like, he's not gonna do that to you. Or like, whoa, word salad. He's gonna fucking kill you, dude.
I will say the only interaction I've had with Tariq Nasheed on Instagram, I went back and forth with him for like twice, and then he blocked me.
Oh,
so
Meta.
That was like 2 years ago. He might have like, you know, stopped being a pussy, but you know what I mean. Like, either way, he's not a pussy for doing that alpha shit that he's been doing with you know, especially with the Brianna Greyjoy shit. That's funny as fuck.
It was funny. I mean,
Joy Gray, whatever her name is.
Yeah, BJG, and so I don't know. I have you seen?
Sounds like a 3-6 Mafia song or something.
Well, there's MTG. So I was thinking like, well, I mean, you have 8 Ball and MJG, but you have MTG. Marjorie Taylor Greene and BJG. Yeah. I mean, that'd be a great fucking group.
Oh, shit.
But you have the QAnon deadlifting fucking chick, and then Brianna Joy Gray.
Yo, I gotta interject. Sorry, I was watching Maddo with my mom.
Nice.
Down in.
She wasn't there. You were watching it by yourself.
And that was when that was when they were trying to turn her into the, you know, like the boogie woman or whatever, you know, because Trump was out, so they needed a new one, right? And they were like, look at what she believes. She believes that there's a pedophilic cabal running the government. She believes that she believes that the Pentagon was not hit by a plane on 9/11. I'm like, yo, I agree with like 90% of this shit.
I was on the fence. I was on the fence, Rachel, but you sold me there.
I know,
yeah. Yo, Rachel sells me on everything. She's the one who made me believe Russiagate wasn't real by her like pressing it so much.
Exactly.
I know, dude. I mean, that's another grifter. I mean, there's not you when you spot people doing the Tariq Nasheed, doing all that stuff. Rachel Maddow is no different. Her career was dead before Russiagate, before Trump. Dead. Yeah. Like just, and then all of a sudden she pops up on TV. Fucking, it's nuts. But have you seen Buck Breaking at all?
Buck Breaking, like wait, hold on. What are you talking about?
The Tariq Nasheed movie. Have you seen it?
Oh no, I
don't think you've seen it. I don't. Yeah, I'm not asking.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck?
I haven't either. Okay, yeah, jeez.
Sure.
Yeah, no, never. Not one. Let me close these tabs real fast. But yeah, he made a movie. Tariq Nasheed made a movie about Buck Breaking. But it was funny because like I saw a clip. I saw a clip of it because like his whole thing is like there's no gay black people. They were all made gay by white people. Yeah, like during.
Oh, so he's
like,
the Black Alex Jones.
And like it was funny because like he was bringing out some stuff where it was like, dude, like honestly, like a lot of slaves got raped by like Matt. Like he was like saying also like shit that you know, like you know, it's like it's true, like and all that stuff. And then he was like, he had one clip that had me in stitches though, and it was like the one dude shows up with like the Nation of Islam bow tie, and he was like, I didn't know who it was, but he had the glasses and everything. He's like, yeah, he goes, honestly, white men are just gay by nature, like honestly, and every time they have sex with women, they have to have it in their mind that they're procreating, or else they like won't be able to do it because the urge to be gay.
What the fuck?
That's hilarious, dude.
I was just thinking about that. I was like, yo, projecting, like what is going through your mind?
Yeah, right. Like this is good for me. This is good for me.
I saw one clip like it was, and that it was good. I was like, I might have to give it a run, dude, because I think he's really entertaining. Like he's just if you're gonna grift, be funny. I guess that's my
very true.
Take on that.
That's awesome.
Did you guys see the let's see the which one do I want to go with here? Oh, the Biden's clip about the violent crime, about basically if you want to take on the government, all the weapons you're gonna need.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
It was pretty.
Insane.
Yeah,
it was pretty good. So it was another classic Joe, like 12-second clip. And it's funny that it's only Fox News. So let me start it back here. So Biden, he basically says if you think you need to, if you think you have the weapons, you don't, is what he's saying. So
bring it on.
Yeah.
The Second Amendment from the day it was passed limited the type of people who could own a gun and what type of weapon you could own. You couldn't buy a cannon. Those who say the blood of patriots, you know, and all the stuff about how we're going to have to move against the government. Well, the tree of liberty is not water with the blood of patriots. What's happened is that there never been, if you wanted to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons. The point is that there's always been the ability to rationally limit the type of weapon that can be owned and who can own it.
Yeah, so that's kind of crazy. Which I gotta say at the beginning of that clip when he said you couldn't buy a cannon, guarantee you somebody could buy a cannon back then. No chance. You're trying to tell me nobody could buy a cannon back then? Like there was a guy under a bridge, like, hey, I got cannons, man.
Like,
right, exactly. Way more, no cameras, no fucking tracking of anything.
Like, dude.
Yeah, nobody had one. It wasn't on the books anywhere. Yeah.
And what are you gonna do? The government official gonna go to the guy with an illegal cannon and be like, oh, give me that back. You know,
he's like, I see it in your backyard.
Please, sir.
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
guy. Yeah.
Cannon.
I heard a big bang. I heard a big bang, and then a fucking this guy's barn is gone down the way. I know.
He's like, that had nothing to do with me, man.
Hey, man,
it wasn't me.
Shit just falls from the sky. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Right.
Oh, that's funny.
We literally don't know about like gravity yet, dude. Like, so yeah, I don't know what to tell you there, but. So, yeah. As a pro mob person, we've determined that's your politics on the show now.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, you shed the somewhat anarchist label there.
Yep.
What does that mean to you when you see somebody like Biden, who's the most progressive president in history, according to Felix Biederman? But so what does that mean to you?
Honestly, I love this shit because, like, at least he's telling you the truth. Like, at least he's telling you, like, yo, these motherfuckers, like, they're gonna kill you. Like, we will kill you. Like, if you try some shit. Like, I could honestly respect that honesty a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like, fucking like a person like, I don't know, a person like Hillary, even though she's like the same as that nigga, she still like tries to play the game and act like, you know, oh, we're your friends. Like Nancy Pelosi tried to act like Mama Bear to niggas, and like Bernie Sanders acts like he's your uncle. But Biden is like, no, bro, like an AR-15 is not shit, bro. We got fighter jets, bro. Like
he's just
that's honestly some gangster shit, bro. Like
shit. And you always hear whether it's like him or Chuck Schumer or whatever, you always hear these guys talk about as if they're removed from it, which is interesting, which I think is true. They're like, you don't want to mess with these guys, man. Like remember when Chuck Schumer was on? He's like, you don't want to mess with the CIA, you know? And he's like, they know that they're just puppets, you know, and shit, and they're you know, so they're like trust us. You guys don't want to fuck with, you know. So I think that's interesting.
That was crazy. That clip that you just brought up, but Chuck Schumer, he was like, he pretty much put out like a green light on Trump on like national TV. He was like, bro, like Trump, don't fuck with us, bro. Like that shit was crazy as hell. But that's
some 90s rap, like East Coast West Coast rap battle shit, but for like
don't come to this side, like
I know. And if Trump said it, he would have genuinely been warning people. I feel like if Trump said it, he would have been like, hey guys, seriously, like guys, I know
he did with the Capitol shit.
Yeah, I'm down, but like, yo, I just saw some shit. Like, it was saying like they have some shit that I'm scared of. Like,
exactly.
But it's, I mean, it's kind of true. It's kind of true though. I think our weapons will never. True. We have finally, well, not finally, but we've kind of in the last 20 years, which isn't a lot in history, right? Like when you look at if you were to span it over 2,000 years, what's a 20-year period, right? It shouldn't be this much progress in like the weapons industry. But we do have stuff that you'll never be able to attain. Even if they just said that, hey, the Second Amendment has no nuance, you can have whatever you want, you still won't get it. I mean, that's right. Yeah, they do $1 trillion fighter jets that they scrap, dude. Like you don't have money for this. It's a money thing more so than anything. They could honestly not do anything to the Second Amendment, and these motherfuckers, like, you won't get shit.
We will not be able to take them down with some fucking, and it's that exactly what you said, bro. Like, I love guns, bro, but like I don't have an AR-15 because that shit's fucking racks, dude. Like that's bread. You know what I mean? Like,
no, not at all. And but it's fucking I've been loving the Biden. We've been neglecting Biden on this pod a little bit. I feel like I feel like we talk about like the World Economic Forum and stuff, which is, I mean, honestly probably scares me way more. But
definitely.
But I always forget, dude. I forget about how fucking like we really have this guy as president.
It's great,
right?
Yeah,
I thought he wasn't going to be funny, but like honestly, he's not as funny as Trump. You know what I'm saying? Because Trump was like funny in like on purpose way. You know what I'm saying? He knew what he was like, he's a fucking performer. So that shit was amazing. But like Biden's more funny, and I'm like, damn, like what the fuck? Like this is reality or a fever dream? Like
yeah, totally.
Oh, honestly, another clip that reminded me of. Did you see Kamala? She went to Mexico.
Yes.
And she was like, "Bro, like, don't come to the U.S. because we're gonna fucking lock you up or send you away."
Yeah. Imagine, dude. Imagine if anyone else said that. That's the crazy.
Exactly.
It's insane.
That
dude.
shit's so crazy.
Yeah, and that's to me is a flex, man. Like that to me is a flex. Like
Right.
you that because the libs won't compute that. They're already in defense mode. Like, well, what she's really saying is like they'll because they'll listen to the 10-minute Mad Al breakdown of that, the 10-minute Stephen Colbert breakdown, the 10-minute breakdown by Joy Reid about why this isn't that big of a deal, right? That's what they'll just regurgitate that to you. But in your head, you're just thinking like, dude, we can do what Trump did. We can do what we did. We can be more effective because we're career politicians.
Right.
We can,
and they're saying that shit.
Yeah. And nobody cares because the Trump psyop. Nobody cares. Like nobody can. I mean, like I said, the Republicans care, but like they're just over here calling like Biden a communist, and I'm like, dog, like. Your communism is going to deliver a meal to your front porch, man. Like, we'll deliver it for a fucking fee, for a DoorDash, Dasher fee, and a tip. Like, that's what we do. And if you don't have that, I'm sorry, you don't eat. Like, what we're looking at is not communism. We're looking at just this shit, man. Like, it's a global. We're a global superpower that doesn't give a shit about the people that live in the actual territory. Like, it's just
hell yeah. And that's the thing about progressives. Like, they are progressive, so it sounds good, but it's all they stand for is progression of capitalism. Like that's it. Like they just bring in the next stage, like the Green New Deal. That's just the next stage of this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just the next stage of capitalism. So like, I don't know. It's pretty easy for them to do that. And I think like I'm saying a lot of fucking post-left trigger words here, but like the PMC lib mind framework or whatever, I think it's easy to do that to them because they love that academia shit cannot take anything for what it is. They have to break it down and find the different meanings and bullshit about it and validate, because that's what they do. They validate the fucking establishment, right? But like people like us, like, bro, they say water is wet. I mean, water's wet. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could see it. It's right in front of you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't
need the flowery language to call, we call a spade,
right.
basically. Yeah.
Exactly. In the flowery language, we could tell, like, when you use flowery language, people could tell us bullshit. Like, you know, like,
and you're only allowed to use it now. Like, your language has to be like explicitly flowery, like, or else it's just like that's the like where the right wing misses out on like the whole cancel culture thing is that like they see it as an attack on free speech, which it totally is. But what they're not saying is like your semantics have to be so on point to even criticize somebody. Like that's what they don't realize. Like it's not even about like your take; it's about how you package your take. And eventually, if you're that much of a threat, even if you say it right, you're gone. But like it's the semantic part of it that scares me the most, because if I'm just like, oh, that's gay, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that invalidates. I could have seriously given you like the perfect plan for the next 10 years of your life, but I said that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's kind of a way to, and like the Oliver Bateman do the work thing comes in here, like where it's like, you don't have to really have anybody enforce this, because the good servants of capital will get it done for you on Twitter, on anything. You don't have to put a policy in for this.
Right.
Like it never has to be like, oh, we passed a bill. Like China has to do that, right? China will say like, yo, like we're going to limit free speech. You cannot criticize the government. If we monitor text, we do all that kind of stuff over here. We're going to monitor your shit. But like that law passed a long time ago because you guys were scared.
Let other people fucking tell you like, all
we got to do is have somebody report it to Jack Dorsey at Twitter support.
Exactly.
That's
digital
it.
panopticon
support, dude. Yeah.
And that's on us for putting too much shit on the internet, probably. Like that's kind of on us. But at the end of the day, dude,
we have no choice though.
And we have Alexa. People have Alexa in their fucking house, dude. Like I had Alexa for a day and I was like, yo, no. I was like, that not happening. And then I found out people were using it during they were doing specials during election season on Alexa, giving out free Alexas during like local election times and stuff. So then people could collect data on where the voting. Yeah, exactly. I was that was wrong. But the last thing I want to talk to you about today, you're familiar with Ibrahim Kendi?
The anti-racism guy, right?
How could you be mad at that guy? He's anti-racism.
He's anti-racist. What could be wrong about that?
So I have a quote from him that I thought was really, really it was basically like him. It was such a self-own on his own whatever the hell he's creating. He did Anti-Racist Baby, I think was his book. That was the one
Oh, we
used.
did. We did.
Yeah, we did.
We
We did the
Yeah,
Joker face.
that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was so he had a quote, and I don't know if this is from that. I don't think it's from that book because it's not really a children's quote, but it's from something else. But he says when he's talking about getting like critical race theory or whatever the hell this is, he's trying to tell people, and he runs into kind of a brick wall with the working class. So this will just make you laugh. He says, "I struggle to concretely explain what institutional racism means to the Middle Eastern small businessman, the black service worker, the white teacher, the Latinx nurse, the Asian factory worker, the native store clerk who did not take the courses on racism, do not read the books on racism, do not go to lectures on racism, do not watch the specials on racism, do not listen to the podcasts on racism, do not attend the rallies against racism." So they don't.
Jeez.
You won't know what if you're any of those things. You won't know till
you will never.
Yeah.
You won't even know what
Store
the slurs
clerk,
are
you
against.
you have to go to Harvard
Yeah.
to understand. Yeah, you're not a first store clerk.
It's always a product. That's where that thing comes from. That's where the grift is like you cannot. They take this thing that's been ripping our society apart since inception, and they're like, no, now. And here's the thing: even if you read this book, it's not over because I got a second book coming out. Because obviously, this first book it did a lot, but it didn't. We need the second book going. You know,
right.
It's the same way why the vaccine doesn't stop everything because we have the Delta variant. So we need the booster, right? So that's why Pfizer's on point on the next 5 years. They were saying Pfizer is going to be $100 billion profits. 100 billion in the next 5 years because so anyways with the RareCandy, isn't that funny though? It's just it basically it's him owning himself in that thing, like basically like my ideology only works with people who go to college to study racism.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know who's buying his book is people who go to college to study racism.
Yeah.
So they're just gonna agree with what he's saying and buy the next fucking book.
Well, it's a circular thing. Like they're obviously all being used, you know, by the elite. But again, it's like if you're making like how much fucking cake do you think that dude's got? He's stoked, man. He's like he doesn't care. He's like this is, you know, like whenever you're making money like that, you do not question any of that shit. It blinds you. You know, I've seen it time and time again. Yeah, and it's. So yeah, man, he's props to him. He's raking it in.
He's doing his thing.
I do like thinking about him actually doing these interactions in person with all those people he described, like where he's just like he's doing like some like Steven Crowder type journalism where he's trying to like go own like the working class and stuff, where he's like going into the what did he say, the Asian factory worker like that, and he's like, hey, do you know that raise that you got denied? That's not really what you should be going for here. What you should be going for is your coworker who made a mask joke about Asians one time. You know what I mean? Like like that's how this gets used, man.
And it's funny.
Like,
well,
that's what they're
like,
doing.
Yeah. And he's the it's funny. He's extremely classist. You know, he's saying that it's like, you know, you need me to describe this to you. It's fucking crazy.
Well, and there's another thing. Like I found this other video today that was like really wild. It was basically about like these like it was 3 black like academic teachers. They all PhDs in something. So I don't know what the context of this is, but it's this one got me kind of good. This is about like how it's basically saying black children don't learn the same as white children in schools, right? Which okay, maybe that's something, but like this sounds like almost like disrespectful. Like
she's not talking about material conditions, probably.
Watch. Let's see.
And I think black people, we are relational people. We are people of context. Like it's very Western and European to dissect and analyze and take apart things, whereas Afrocentric schooling or Afrocentric spirituality or African epistemology or ways of knowing, everything is connected. So this is why education is not working for so many students of color, because we are context-driven people. We can't tell a story without telling the 10 things that happened that led up to that moment. There's no such thing as like thinking in isolation, isolating yourself from nature, from your family. Like it's just not part of our ways of knowing and being in the world. So when we tap into the ways that we understand the world, students are able to make wonderful connections and unleash their brilliance and their wisdom. And I think
I don't. Hold up. What's that?
Doesn't she have a PhD?
Yeah.
So she learned pretty damn good.
Boom. Yeah.
No,
boom.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah. Thing is, I know what she's like saying, trying to, because I am very critical of like Western thought and, you know, the scientism thing and everything. But that's just, I mean, imagine being like a fucking like a black kid engineer, dude, like the like that, or that dude that's like into the Teslas, and shit, and it's like, and he's just sitting there being like, what, like I'm not allowed to, you know what I mean? It's just weird. Yeah, I don't know.
And it's like Chef was saying, there's a material condition why a lot of like black children don't do well in school. You know what I mean? There's like literally like thing when you go home and you maybe didn't have a meal that night. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to school on an empty stomach. And
Joe Biden's gonna listen to that. He's good. These black kids don't know how to log into Wi-Fi, man.
That's right. I forgot about that one. He's like, they don't even know how to get on the internet.
Kicked out of Zoom.
Yeah. I don't know how they're making these dance videos. I don't get it. But like, yeah, that's what I found funny, because I sent this to my other friend just for some context, and he was like basically saying like, he's like, nah, dude, like, okay, there's literally guys like who will like go to jail and like learn how to start their own fucking business and like do all this shit, like be resourceful as fuck. It's like, it's clearly not a cognitive thing. It's like, look, I understand maybe there's some teachers, like, you're a white teacher and you might not understand certain things, like whatever. I'm not saying that there could be like certain situations where that happen, but it's like, damn, dude, like maybe like,
not
like
to
this
teach
makes you sound
arithmetic,
stupid.
bro.
Like it makes, it's like basically like you got to teach us a different way. I don't know. It doesn't make sense, man. Like
because it's just reifying racialization. Like that, like I said, like race was an invention of domination. So they're just gonna use it however they can. Before it was used to like make niggas slaves and shit. But now it's used in this way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just another tool they use. They just pick it up and swinging it in a different way. So I really think like this is literally just like reifying that fucking we are different because of our DNA. Like we're different because of the skin color. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just doesn't make any fucking sense, bro. Like I loved school, bro. Like I know I fucking hated my teachers and shit. You know what I mean? Like I hated like getting in trouble and shit, but I also know like, I loved learning. Like there's nothing like, I don't know, bro. I don't know where they come up with this shit, man.
Yeah, and the thing I took from all that too was like, this is basically like, how do we get more black kids to Harvard? You know what I mean? Like that's where I get, which like, okay, sure, fine, like that's cool, but like like that's cool. That's how much of the population does that honestly help? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they see it as like, we're gonna get them, we're gonna get them to leadership, and then they're gonna help. It's gonna be like it's their own version of trickle down economics, basically. Like
it's the same thing if like more representation in movies and shit.
Yeah, just shit like where it's like, but really at the end of the day, to tie this back to the RareCandy quote, why can't a black person just work in the service industry and feed themselves? Like why? What? Like that is my number one thing. Like why do they have to go to fucking Harvard? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not cut out for Harvard. You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't make sense to me. It's just like this stuff. It becomes like real thought amongst. It's supposed to go to everybody, but it's just straight up like academic circle jerk, basically. Like it's like how do we get I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me in that way, when really like you're the racist one, when you're just like, no, they're fine at those jobs, dude. It's fine to have that job. Yeah. It's fine. Like we don't need, like as a society, you don't always have to have upward mobility. I like that. Like that's cool, especially if we're going to do this capitalism shit. I'd like to have some upward mobility, but like, you want to become like, you want to become somebody that makes more money, but like, you get locked into these jobs where like the wage actually adjusts to the cost of living and getting that kind of stuff. That's like what I care about, because that's going to help the majority of the population. And that gets looked at as like all lives matter and shit. Like,
exactly.
Okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
they actually do though. Like
got me there. Yeah. And it's like with reparations, it's the same way. Like I get in conversation. I see the reparations discourse all the time. And I'm just like, okay, how do you do that without just like a complete war happening? Like, how do you like, I'm not. What's that?
Can I share something on the screen with y'all? Because I saw something today that was like, or I could send it to you or whatever. It was
let me. I think I made you a host, so go ahead.
Okay, but let me see.
Yeah,
it was like the first. Yeah, hell yeah, I got it right here. Speaking of reparations, I'm glad you brought this shit up, because this is like literally like that fucking PMC shit. Like they're all aspiring to be like at the top, right? All they want to do is be like the ruling class. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're trying to do. So hold on, let me share this with you. It's like this shit where here we go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So the founder of BET, right? The first black.
Oh yeah.
Talking about, I want my fucking reparations check. That's exactly what this shit's going to be used for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and this is Vice News, man. Like, that shit's crazy.
But like,
you know what I mean?
a real way for a reparations like because I'm actually down for like reparations for the underclass, which is why like it's probably a good thing to be a class reductionist, like because you get rid of all that like theater that comes out of all of this, where it's like, oh, but but it's like, dude, I'm not even trying to be this guy, but like my family hasn't owned anything before. Like we don't have property, we don't have anything. So if you had a thing where like people who don't own shit, which we're actually going the complete opposite direction of that, we want less people to own shit now. So like maybe let's start fighting that. We got BlackRock buying up 142 housing units in neighborhoods and just buying them for 25% higher than the market value and just holding on to them and hoarding them to resell it at an even higher value. So we have stuff like that happening. So let's work on that. Let's get like literally underclass some damn houses. And guess who's going to be in that? There's going to be a lot of black people in there. There's going to be a lot of by POC in there, and it's
going to be a lot of black service workers. You know what I mean? Like
the ones Ibrahim Kendi can't reach. Yeah, just like it's like the South Park. Like, how do I reach these kids? Like, he's just like he just doesn't get it. And it's like, you got it. Like, show me the fucking money, dude. I swear to God, dude. The lower you get down on the class pole, and that's where I work. I work a very blue collar job, and everybody has the same interest there. We need to get money. Let's get fucking money, dude. Chase the bag, anything we can. And if you start talking that shit, dude, you don't have to have this trouble with how do we educate these people? How do we do this? It's like, it's not going to be combated with education. I mean, maybe a little bit, because I think people need to realize that their class interest should come first. I think that's what you need to be educated in. But I mean, I don't know. Like, how could you do it to the point where like absolutely. I think there's absolutely a way to, because I think it's true. Like when were black people allowed to actually buy property? Like it was like a very recent year. Like it
wasn't like the 19 somethings.
It was like that. And then even then, was it even really like you can have probably, it's like the bank guy's like, yeah, nice try. Like the guy at the bank, like, he's like, we know about the law. Yeah. And but like, I don't think that so there was no way to accumulate generational wealth. So I think that's actually a fair concern. And I think that reparations, but you'd have to do it with a class thing, or else you're just
because like how that shit I just showed y'all, like that's how it's going to be used. Like rich ass black people who are going to write up these fucking proposals for the government to give them like grants and shit for their fucking how you say that word, philanthropic bullshit. You know what I'm saying? For you know what I'm saying, all this shit, like that's how it's going to be used. And I think that even brings me to the land back shit, because I was thinking like of course, like, you know what I'm saying, like, Native Americans, been fucked over, definitely, right? You know what I'm saying, like, but like I don't know, I lived in Texas, I lived in like California, and I lived in upstate New York as well, and like the casinos and shit are like owned by like the people on the res, you know what I'm saying? So like if we just do land back in this, I'm pretty sure like it would just be that class of Native Americans who are given land to develop for projects, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're just allowing like so they want to do just here you go, here you do capitalism now, like, you know what I mean, here you go, here's your land, like, I think you're exactly right. And that's that's gonna be something like the reparations, because the city of Oakland was doing that too for a long time. City of Oakland was giving out, I think it was like $500 of like COVID relief, but it actually wasn't the city of Oakland. They were giving it to black people only, I want to say, or it was either black people only, or it was non-white. I think non-white, I think it was non-white, which you want to see some transracial shit go down. Yeah, right. A lot of Sean King stuff's gonna happen.
Right. Wait, hold. What wasn't your Polish? Your Polish relative was pretty much.
They were there. I would just tell them they're the Mexicans of Eastern Europe. So like, I need my if that plays, then I'll take my 500. But the crazy part about that was it was a private company using the state to distribute it. So it wasn't the city of Oakland. It was a private company, but the city being used as a vehicle. That's where you get this confusion where you're like, who am I mad at? Like, I don't like where.
Many such cases.
Very funny that the city of Oakland, the mayor's name is Libby, though. That'll never ever stop being funny to me. Just a straight up lib, dude. Let all the sports teams leave, like fucking
through and through.
And then they're doing all this stuff, and all that's gonna do is get the stupid fucking reactionary conservatives to just move further right. We're where we are, and you can't. I gotta say, it's a masterful plan. I gotta say, it's a masterful plan, and shit, man, I appreciate you joining us.
Yeah. Oh, last thing, that public-private partnership that you're talking about, how it wasn't even the city of Oakland, and it was like the private. That's how they're about to do all this shit, bro.
Everything.
Like,
Yeah,
I remember
that's
reading
what I'm
about
saying,
Palantir was overseeing some shit where they were like trying to give homeless people houses. So pretty much they fucking
Yes,
slapped the
I
QR
sent that to
code
you.
on homeless
I
people.
think yeah,
Yeah.
that was because that's like 2 blocks away from where I live. Like
Yeah,
not to dox myself
exactly.
too much, but like that's not. It's like I'm like seriously trying to go over that development and see what's going on. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
some
putting
crazy shit.
But then like okay, so when I was talking to somebody about that, I can't remember who I was talking to, but it was like, so I guess to explain it a little more, was like there's a housing, they're making like this affordable housing. It might even be somewhat subsidized or something by like a private. It's weird. I don't understand how the money's working there, but the development goes up. Homeless people have a house now, but it's like, do you think fucking Peter Thiel at that Palantir is gonna be like, we're not gonna put any cameras in here, let's let them be,
right?
You know, he's gonna be like, no, it's gonna be a fucking goddamn research experiment, and probably turned into like somewhat of like a mental facility kind of situation. And I think what they're doing is they're trying to cut state spending in that regard. Have it funded by private companies, but private companies are always going to want a piece. And this is where libertarians just don't fucking understand how this shit works. They will never get it. They will never get it. They'll be like, oh, if you left it up to private businesses, they wouldn't have any mask mandates. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Like in California.
Bullshit. They were the main ones enforcing them.
Exactly.
Going in Target,
and they still
you can't
are.
come in Target without a mask. Exactly.
They still are out here in California. I went to Whole Foods. I'll put it this way. To be fair, you wouldn't have to remove or put the mask mandate on. They'd go in with masks either way. But you know, at some point, the private company is going to just mirror the state. It's going to become that same enemy. Like corruption is corruption. You know, it's bad. And like that with that housing development. I'm glad you brought that up, because it's exactly I completely forgot about that. With that housing development, I think they're going to do that because I guess Palantir does county hospitals as well, surveillance for county hospitals. So I'm wondering if
biometric IDs, bro.
That and just the fact that it's like, hey, do we really need this county hospital? You know what I mean? Or like, you know, just shit like that. Or just, hey, man, what if we privatize it? What if Palantir is just Palantir Medical? You know what I mean? Palantir, Palantir Brooklyn, Palantir San Francisco, you know, division county thing. I'm just saying, you're gonna start. I think they're. I don't trust these people. They're all lizard people. They're all fucking weird. I don't trust them. They can give me a reason to do it by giving me some money, but that's not gonna happen. And
never.
Yeah, exactly. But shit, man, I appreciate you coming through, dude. You have to do this more
often. Oh
yeah.
Thank you guys for fucking.
Anytime you got the
again.
hot take, anytime you got the hot take, send me a voice message on Instagram, and then we can you can come.
Hell
through.
yeah, bet.
I'm too old for that shit. I didn't know what that was. The first time you voice messaged me, I was I'm like, is this a song? Like, what's going on? I was like, and then you told me, but I'm like, you have to realize there's an age difference here. I'm like, what? It's just so funny to me. But we have to do that again. So, Chef, what do you got going on musically, man? Like, what's going on? What I mean, I guess what are you promoting? And is the song available? I thought it was available on SoundCloud.
Listen, exactly. That's what I was just about to say. So I think it would be perfect. I was gonna put it out like I put it in a private link on SoundCloud for y'all, but like I'm gonna release it publicly when this, like the day that this gets, you know what I'm saying? So like it'll be, you know, be perfect.
Monday coming up. Is
Monday
coming out Monday?
Monday coming up. Yeah, exactly.
We'll make some beats, and you could get us like another one too. You know what I mean? Like,
oh hell yeah,
outro.
You guys need an outro.
In a past life, we were a production duo, so it was
let's go.
I don't think we've ever said that on here, but I guess So we'll do that. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, to be fair, if we're still doing this shit like 7 years from now, people are gonna be like, "Who's Trump? Who's Biden?" So like, you're gonna need
that's true. Exactly.
We're gonna need like the updated one, but like. That's what's up. All right, so you are I never know what you're where are you chef on Twitter? That's correct.
Where are you chef on Twitter? Yep. And then at Chef CJB on Instagram, and then SoundCloud, I believe it's Chef CJB as well. Yep.
Right. So got that. Any new projects coming out? And you said you maybe some tour? Is that
well, it's not tour. It's not. I'm not gonna lie and say it's tour, because you know a lot of people do that. But so pretty much like
I did that in the past, actually. Yeah.
Really?
They're like, you're in the same area code for all the shows. It's not a tour.
A tour down the street, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, so we have like so I have a collective called Camp, and it's pretty much about like it's a collective, and we like work with collectives to mend like the gap in the and the music scene here. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we're trying to like actually build a scene. Right now I live in South Carolina, for the listeners who don't fucking know. Like, I moved here like 2 years ago. No, a year ago. And like, I met a whole bunch of fucking really talented people.
Yeah.
So like the other day we went to a metal show at a tavern, and one of the bands, I know them, so they want us to like put on a show there, mix like the hip hop metal shit, you know what I'm saying, get it lit. And then we're going to go to Tennessee for a show. I think it's like in Nashville. And then we got like shows coming up in like Atlanta, Texas, just all over the place. So that's really what I'm pressing. Not really that much new music coming out, but just more shows. So if I pop up in your city, come see me.
Absolutely. And it's funny that you brought that up about metal. And I think the style of rap that you do, I've been seeing this for a while. Like, it's like metal. It's weird. Like, it's the same. It's like, no, I mean, there's mosh pits. Like, even if you go with the tempos, like it almost matches up a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's wild. Like, you see, like, it's kind of crazy. Like, and it's like, I almost wonder, is it's kind of like and like the styles, right? You see people doing like all types of like alternative styles and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like a punk metal type situation, but that's like what we do now, because like the metalheads I know now, they're all like just like like Reddit guys. So
really,
like, yeah, no, like one of my best friends is a metal band and he loves Reddit.
Oh, really?
Cats. Yeah, and cats.
Nah,
so.
see, yeah, all the Reddit, all the metal guys I know are like ex fucking junkies, and like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
There you go. So, a little seasoned. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Hell yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this is, like I said, if anything happens, I doubt there's no chance anything super crazy can happen in the next 6 days. So if this episode sounds a little stale after 6 days, if another antivirus billionaire guy dies, I'm sorry, but we are going on a much deserved I mean, I don't know, we're not going on I guess not really a vacation, we're just taking a little time off, but
hiatus.
But yeah, hiatus. But we are gonna have a lot of episodes. By this time this is coming up, we're gonna have a podcast called We Were On With Anyone. If anyone's listening, that'll be dropping next week. I just got the alert for that. Shout out Mitch for that one. And we are dropping well, it'll already be out by the time this episode, but check out our YouTube only show, Alpha Talk. We had Clay Parks, otherwise known as Clay PNG, otherwise known as the Running Man, fucking shuffling guy on Instagram. Yeah, that was a lot of good stuff coming out. Subscribe to the channel. YouTube is the main place to watch us. So audio is not going to have everything. So, all right, guys, everybody have a good day.
Peace.